I guess I have no more questions.
Call 1-800.
Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus. Again. Excuse me one moment, please. The last time I made a post for you, video post, I think I indicated that I was going into the hospital and had been sick for quite some time, and that was the reason why there was a break between the posts. I was constantly trying to say something to you each and every day about truth, and I was kind of feeling weak, and I thought maybe I might not have another opportunity to speak to you, and I do. And I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still under the eye of love. Ladies and gentlemen, in a month, the last part of July, my high school class from ELZY High School are having a 50th year class reunion. Now, there's one thing about that community. We all grew up together. Some of us lived closer, and some of us were far spread, and others far spread even more. But we all came together in school, and we were all one. We couldn't just be running buddies with each other all the time, but we were, and we knew that we were. So if the time permitted it, it was. And so you just feel like family. Now, I've been away, 50 years? And over the past several years, I can sometimes just lay in my bed asleep, sometimes wake up, and I think about all of those guys and girls, all of my brothers and sisters, all of my friends. And for some strange reason, it seems as if everybody I come across in my mind is a friend. People that doesn't have a name is a friend. It's like there's something special going on. And I have so much desire to see them, to be with them. 50 years, there might be many of us gone away out of this body, out of this life. And to have been around, it would be wonderful to get together after 50 years and reminisce, playing sandlot football or basketball or going on dates, getting in the car for the first time, sneaking wine. I mean, just having a ball, hanging out at the local college, the Catholic Center where we could party all the time, you know, on Friday nights. And so it was just a remembrance, the bands, football teams, all of these things we could reminisce about. The girls we dated, and those who married the ones that they dated, and how things have turned out in life, and just rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. I live in the bed thinking about that, and sometimes I just want to cry, because I really miss all of my friends from ELZY High School class, 1969. I miss you. I miss you. And I had planned that on this anniversary that I was going to be there. And I was going to be as happy to see you, and you're going to know it. I had planned that there are certain of my classmates that held themselves out special, who did things for people, things that maybe not given that much attention at that time, but having gone through time, recognize just how important it is. You know, people that were able to assist people in learning skills, to help them with their homework and teach them some basic principles that would allow them to be better at whatever it is that they did. People who would help them with their voice, and with their music, and would see that many of them would get an opportunity for a scholarship to go to college that perhaps they never would have had it not been for somebody from Amanda ELZY High School who were probably of class 68. Didn't matter, they were from Alcorn. And I just wanted to highlight it for some of them because many of us don't know who they are, but some of us who benefited know. And I just wanted to say thank you to every last one of you. Well, now here I am, ladies and gentlemen. I had contacted one of the representatives, and I said, well, I'm not sure whether I'll make it. I got a lot of things on my mind, doing a couple of things, but I'll let you know. And if I am going to be there, I will make my payment in the month of May. Today is May 31st. I have not contacted anyone. Is it because of my illness? Not really. I could use it as an excuse, but not really. I mean, other things were met. I wouldn't let my illness keep me away. Okay, well, then, is it money? Well, you have to look at it like this. I got young kids in school, getting out of school for vacation, birthday parties, plans that had really nothing to do with my class reunion. My wife's birthday coming up. She got plans. She wants to see the ocean. She says she lived a long time, have not seen the ocean. She wants to see an ocean. And I'm committed, why not? See an ocean. I want to be there to see you see that ocean. And then I'm thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen, just the other day, I could have been dying, could have been dead. Dying dead. Had gone to church that Sunday, and Sunday school lesson has to do with the new spirit man, the new life, living the new life. Yeah, living the new life. You suggested that you have gotten a relationship with God. You've accepted Jesus into your being, and now you got a new life. So living the new life. This is what they were talking about. And I didn't want to miss that for anything, because I don't believe nobody knows too much about living that new life. And I'll tell you why I said that in a minute. Anyway, long story short, I ended up getting sick and stuff like that. But as I lay there and I'm thinking about how badly I want to be with you guys, and then my thoughts start running, asking yourself, Eddie, why can't you? And it caused me to face some realities. A few years ago, you guys know me. Even those of you when school was out and there were only a few around, you know me. Whether I was from high school or in college or in a first living quarters or in Chicago, you know me. You know me. And I haven't been one of those guys that try to hide. I really have enjoyed myself in life doing what I wanted to do. But I wasn't free to flow like the wind. I had a little restraint. There were things that I wouldn't have done. At least let's say I didn't do. And there were many things I did do. And I'm not trying to justify it by saying everybody does it. I did it because at the moment in time I needed to do it. Why? In order to satisfy a desire. And I think about how one day when I left Alcorn University. Alcorn State University. Hello, Alcorn. And I was deciding, what am I going to do? In my life being was to be the greatest entertainer Hollywood ever produced. But I had been married 3 years to a young lady who, as far as I know, was committed to me, and we had taken these vows, and you know, we were living in Chicago then as a residence, and if I go to New York, California, I got to separate again from her, and having done 3 years, I thought I'd better go spend some time with her, and I'd do some acting and some nightclubbing in Chicago. I ended up running into a situation where I had to face reality. I don't know if I've lived before, but I do know that there's too much pain and suffering in this country. Now, I'm not the smartest man. I'm not the wisest man. But I did recognize that people wanted help. People wanted help who didn't even know they wanted help. People did desperate things as an outcry for help. I saw it. Now, while I was in Chicago working with the Veterans Administration, I got a chance to see how power works. And I thought within my own being, why is it that the power is not directed to deal with these problems that we as human beings experience every day? And something must have told me, because they didn't have me in it. And so I made a decision that I was going to make the world a better place. Yep, make the world a better place. I know that sounds out of this world. And I felt that in order to do that, I had to step down off of the middle class life I was trying to live, struggling to live, and step down here where you just barely making it with the everyday people. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boy, you are here because you are designed to be here. You don't want to be here, but you have no idea how to get out. So I said, okay, Lord, I'll do it. So the past 40 years, ladies and gentlemen, I've been taught, not teaching, but I've been taught truths that as a teenager think they know everything. Maybe I had as well, but I found out I didn't. And because I recognize and I admit it, I'm glad to be able to stand before you and tell you exactly the beauty of life. Yes, I decided that I would be God's agent. I got married again. And I promised my wife, hey fellas, a lot of you guys out there married, you know what you promised your sweetheart when you're making that statement about marriage? How wonderful you're going to be. Some of the girls love you so much you don't have to say anything. They just believe it anyway. But you would tell them, I'm going to take care of you. I'm not going to ever desert you. And all the wonderful things of life that you used to dream about as a kid, I'm going to make sure that I'm there to make sure that every last one of them blossom and that your dreams are fulfilled. You married the right man. I know you told them that now. I know you told them because I did the same thing. Now, what happened? We all, every last one of us, go off into, after having done this, we all go off into our directions. Every direction is a proper direction. You are the captain of the ship, taking you where you go. And we have to make decisions. Looks like my Uh-oh. Oh. Anyway, boy, they sure don't want me to tell you. Don't go in a place. There's a song I used to sing all the time when I go to church. And sometimes when I walk into church, and every time they thought I was going to sing, they would suggest that they knew exactly what it was going to be. Because it was this little song called, "There's a little light of mine, and I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, there's a little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine." Well, it looked like we got a little bit more volume back. At least I hope it stay around long enough for me to make my point. And so, I got this young lady feeling excited about this new man that is coming to her life and going to be a spark that's going to be on her, you know, for a long time. But my mission, ladies and gentlemen, was different. My mission was to glorify God, to tell the world how wonderful God is and what it means to be a creature of God, to bring you to a new awareness perhaps that you've never heard before. Y'all forgive me, I'm going to make it. But now here's what I know. Every last one of you, I'm not talking about class of 69 now. I'm talking about everybody that's listening to this video. Every last one of you want your dreams to come true. Not a single one of you want to live and miss your dream. So in order for that to happen, God told me to tell the world, especially all of the United States of America, that it was on the path to hell. Now I think that was back about 30 years ago that happened. I traveled the country. I went everywhere I possibly could. I wrote, Americans are on the path to hell. Nobody took me serious. Then God decided to prove to me that they were on the path to hell. He recognizes that they go to church every Sunday and all the other extra times. And they talk about God, how wonderful God is, how much love God is. There are also people who don't know God talk about how hateful and vengeful God is. Those are the people who really don't know God. But everybody would talk about this love of God. So there were several national campaigns. A couple of times I ran for President of the United States, United States Senator from the state of Minnesota, local mayors of several cities in Minnesota. And what was the purpose? To champion before the people the love that they are taught in church every Sunday about God. Champion it in our own lives. I mean saying, hey, ladies and gentlemen, the God that you read about in that book is alive. You can't see him just like you can't see him in that book. You can't see him out here because he's a spirit. But all of this that's out here is because of that spirit using us. And if we want our dreams to come true, there is a basic principle that must be employed. First of all, we must recognize that we are not beholden to any man. There are no princes and kings and queens and peons. We are human beings, brothers and sisters. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm going to share with you. I know where we've been. I've been all out there. And ain't nothing out there righteous. Everything is corrupt. Everything is corrupt. Now, that doesn't mean that any and everybody can see the corruption in any and everything. But there's some that can see it in any and everything. They're the ones who, if they got love, stand up and say something. The rest of you just don't see it. So I'm thinking that here God's plan for you, for me. Every last one of us got birthrights. And what are those birthrights? What are those things that are essential for survival? Without them, and I'm not talking about your lungs and your heart and oxygen and your blood. I'm talking about things that we have something to do with in providing. What are those things that are essential for survival? They are health care. Some of you say, why you start there? Why not start with food? Okay, then education. Why you start there? Why not start with housing? Okay, clothing. Why you start there? Well, let me start at the way, the means that every last one of these things can be met. And that's by a job, a career. Now, you've heard of that before, but you never heard it like God designed it. That is, your career would be one of your own choosing. Now, the choices that you make, they would be so available and free to you until you would be just as thrilled at your decision as any basketball player you see pouncing that ball, talking about how wonderful he's been doing it all his life, now getting paid for it, woo, woo, woo. Or any athlete, or musician, or architect, or preacher that's getting paid. I mean, you know now what you want to do, can do it, are going to do it. And there's nothing to prevent you but you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you put everybody to work, and everything that is essential is already designed right now at us coming at it at this late date. So as we apply ourselves, we will be engaging in the creative process of continuing a manifestation of an abundance of goods and services that addresses everything I mentioned. Health care. And you don't have to worry about socialism. It'll be enough people involved in it until it'll be in and out service. Education, housing, food, clothing, infrastructure. I don't want to go into all of that. But just like that, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? You had the joy of working, which is the greatest thing, and anything that money could have bought. You don't need money. Why? Because your participation in the business, your participation in the business makes you part owner. So you don't have to take everything to your house because you know you can go to wherever it is and get it when you get ready. And you can relax. You didn't have to lie. You didn't have to cheat. You didn't have to steal. You didn't have to pay anybody any bribes. You got peace and prosperity and joy of life. No terror. No war. And if the hurricanes come, if the floods come, you are prepared. I mean, I did not think that I would be ignored when I came out into society with that message. That message was so rejected. Till every time I tried to, I had to do it as a write-in. A write-in. I mean, no, even the local churches, nobody was interested in that. And yet this is what they talk about. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, every Sunday. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so convinced of this until I do this without pay. I've been to jail. I've been to prison standing up for this. I committed crimes trying to get people's attention and still didn't go into place. So I'm here thinking to myself, wow. Wow, 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 wow. So what happened, ladies and gentlemen, with that message about on the road to hell? 2016 proved it. Now I'm talking to my brothers and sisters at Amanda High School. And I'm talking to my brothers and sisters around the world. 2016 proved it. How so? You had a Republican and a Democrat that represent the political parties of the United States of America. One conservative and one liberal, both white. You had this campaign, and you had these representatives who were attacking each other, and each was being portrayed by the other as a demon. I mean, the word demon was used a few times, but a lot of times they just call them crooks and murderers and everything. Everything that should have made the people run. Who are these people that's trying to get before us and represent us? But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They just kept thinking about, well, it might be evil, but it's lesser of the two evils. How do you think? God didn't get mad, he was smiling. He just sent to you an opportunity for every last one of your dreams to come true. None of this devil in this. And you rejected it. But you accepted 2016. So in truth, ladies and gentlemen, the United States talking, the other party that didn't win is talking trash. But you, the people of the United States of America, you got in Donald Trump exactly what you deserved. If you didn't stand up and resist both of these people and stand for something much better that addressed the concerns of all the people, you are blind. And so, what I used to talk about Trump because I was mad with him. I know Trump is an agent of Satan. I know that. But an agent of Satan going to a group of people, let's say 300 million of them, who can't stand each other. 300 million people who are rapists, murderers of one another. 300,000 people who are selling anything for money. This 300 million people in this nation filled with hatred and racism and bigotry, going into making mass killings. 300 million people. What do you think you deserve? You think you deserved me and the program that I brought to you? I mean, that was my hope. Had that have worked, my wife would have had a big old smile on her face. She would have been saying, baby, I'm so glad you married me because I am the most luckiest woman in the world. But every last one of your wives would have been saying the same things to you. Nobody would have been out there tricking. Nobody would have been out there doing stuff that they're ashamed of to do in their life. But America wasn't ready for that. America was ready for Trump and the lies and the deception and the division. That's what America was ready for. And so, when my class reunion gets together in 2019, 50 years from the date of our final class, it appears that I won't be there. You see, I counted on America changing. I counted on America becoming the kind of society where everybody had health care, that everybody had unlimited, unrestricted health education, that they would have homes of their own choosing, equipped as they wanted them to be equipped. They have access to transportation of any sort to go wherever they wanted to go. And they would never need money. In other words, you don't have to sell yourself to a job for anybody. Why? Because no human being on the face of the earth owns anything that was put here by God. Now you might set up a system that says you made a chair and so you own that chair. That system doesn't work too well in the plan of peace and prosperity and joy. But other stuff, the resources of the earth belong to God. And anybody got their name on it did so because they were approved by some blind people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to know is this. What I have shared with you is just to bring you up to this point. God is not an evil, mean, vicious God like they try to tell you. People got all kind of concepts about God. Just the other day, some brother was trying to tell people how they should dress, that women, the Bible says that women shouldn't wear their hair look like a man because it might cause the men to sin. I don't know where it's James somewhere. And there's a lady in the crowd. She said, well, what about Jesus? You know, they got Jesus wearing long hair. And it caught my attention. Bust out started laughing because I recognize that the scripture says that Jesus had like a sheep. And that doesn't seem to be too long hanging. And then I thought about his color. So I bust out and laughed and I said, and he's white too. And I said that because we were trying to make a point. You know, the scripture doesn't say he was white. But by the time I was waiting for him to come back, another voice entered and said, oh, yes, he is, yes, he is. He was a Jew. Remember, he was a Jew? And I'm sitting there looking at these people, thinking about what they have been taught in this book. Thinking about how even if they say Jesus was black and nappy head, they put a picture up there of him being white and long hair, and that supersedes any other thing that you read. They say he's black, but I know he's white because I see him. And I'm thinking, all of this stuff is a big tail game. Because God showed it so simple to me. God loves you. And they told you about if you don't do this, you don't do that. These are people trying to control your life. You better control your own life, and you know you're going to mess that up, so you better give it to God. Now, what they want you to do, since they are trying to control your life, if you don't do what we say do, you're going to end up in hell. And I can't describe the vicious hells that people have mentioned over the generations. But that's what you're going to get for defying what they have taught you to believe. I want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, you should have gathered it yourself. The only hell you are ever going to experience is the hell that you create for yourself. Let me say that to you again. The only hell you are going to go to is the hell that you create for yourself. Now, if you create a hell for yourself, justice will allow you to go straight to hell. Justice requires that you go straight to hell. Somebody say, well, mercy will deliver you. Yeah, mercy will deliver you. Mercy will give you another chance after you go through that hell you built. Mercy will give you another chance. Now, what does that mean? It can mean any number of things. But I'm just telling you, mercy will give you another opportunity, and justice will let you. So what am I saying? All of the stuff you're going through is because you believed everything. You believed everything. Even though they told you there's nothing new under the sun, you believed everything except the truth. You say, well, how do we know the truth? Because every time somebody comes telling you the truth, they are murdered. Well, does that mean everybody? No. When they tell you that stop following men and start doing righteousness, when they tell you to stop hating and being bigot, start standing up for truth, you know, God knows that what has happened to us. This is a school after all. You make any mistakes? Well, why did God make us like this? So we can play a part in the creation. We can play a part in the creation. He didn't want to, you've heard people say they didn't want to make robots. They didn't want to force you to do anything you didn't want to do. So he give you a choice. When you choose to do something, buddy, it's ready. When you're persuaded to do something, I love you because you do this. No, baby. God don't play like that. God is in the process of recreating himself in others. So, Don't think that you're getting out of this. This hatred and stuff that's perpetuating the society. I'm not saying that it's over. I know you're not. You're not changed. And so, it's just another one of those things. I am saying, it ain't gonna happen, but I would love you, class of 69. I love all of you. Man. People back in that little church in Little Bit of Mississippi that I used to go to, not all of it, is that it? You know, man, I mean, we used to do some singing back there on Morris Street. Yeah, buddy, it was some mighty, mighty good times. And even though I can't be there with you during the celebration, I got some memories. I got some memories, and they are all good. And guess what? Even those situations where it didn't turn out so good on the spot at that time, today they are absolutely fantastic. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. I know I took a long time, but I hope the message was worthy enough of your stay. Bye-bye.